This episode contains discussions about suicide, self-harm and mental health struggles. Some listeners may find these topics distressing. If you feel uncomfortable at any point, please feel free to stop listening and take care of yourself. If you struggle or someone you know is struggling, support is available. In the UK, you can contact Samaritans on 116 123 for free, 24/7. If you are in immediate danger, please call 999.
If you'd have told me this 2 years ago, I'd be sat here with you talking about this. Never have believed you. I was a finance manager for a local company in Warrington. I would like to say I was pretty good. I've got no history of any trauma. I've got no history of any type of addictions, any debts or anything like that. We could discuss it and he'd go, yeah, maybe that was a contributing factor. Yeah. I can't honestly tell you. I have no memory from it. No, nothing.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Great in You podcast. I'm your host, Steven Panter, and I think this is our 15-16 podcast that we've done now. So, I'm more comfortable. Hopefully, you're more comfortable, and you've seen lots of our podcasts. If you do like the podcast, please like, subscribe, and share. So today, I've got a fantastic guest with me. He's called Lee Payton. Nearly said that wrong then. Lee Payton from Warrington, and he's got an amazing story. And hopefully you enjoy today's podcast. It is about a very difficult subject. It's about men's suicide, and it is quite touching. It's going to affect people that watch it, but I know for sure it's going to support people as well. And this podcast is all about people that have experienced trauma, that have been through things that have been really challenging and difficult, but then on the back of that they want to and they do help and support other people. So that's what the podcast is about. So hopefully you'll really enjoy it. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for the invite, and thank you for getting my name right on the second occasion.
So how are you today?
I'm good, thank you. Surprisingly, don't feel nervous about doing this.
Well, that's good. That's good.
I must admit, and we've had a coffee beforehand and had a great chat. Really looking forward to it, actually. About sharing my journey, my personal journey, but then how I want to help other people with that. How I'm trying to inspire other people to open up and talk. How I'm trying to create a safer community, especially from my local area. Trying to make the world a better place for my daughter, really. That's
brilliant.
I know many dads will say that, and it sounds a little bit of a cliche. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to help that one man, that one person that's suffering, that one dad, brother, cousin, friend, colleague, podcast presenter, video editor behind the scenes. It's them people are not numbers. They're not statistics. We
were saying, weren't we, there's a story behind every single one of those.
Of course there is, yeah. I mean, like you, from your line of work, there's always a story behind all them, why that is, what that's happening. And I think with what's happened to me, which obviously we'll discuss and everything, to be where I am now, to what I want to do, to what I am doing. If you'd have told me this 2 years ago, I'd be sat here with you talking about this. Would never have believed you for all the money in the world. Would never have believed you a word you said.
Well, what I try to do in this podcast is I try to, so that the audience know a little bit more about you. It's not just about that significant incident that happened to you, and it was significant. Yeah. It's about, what was happening for you before then. So what I always like to do is I always like to go, because we are an education podcast as well. Yeah. I always like to talk about your early years, your childhood, what things were like for you in school, your friendships, your family, that type of thing. So I don't know if you want to tell us a little bit about kind of where you grew up, what that was like,
of course,
what your family was like.
You'll have to bear with me a fair bit with this, because I do have quite a lot of memory issues because of the suicide. So if people are watching this and I've got anything wrong, in particular my family, don't have a go at me. This is what I'm sure if that's okay. Yeah. So I'm not gonna lie, I had a fantastic childhood. We're born and bred in Busey in Warrington. My mum and my dad have been together all my life. So I was very blessed in regards to not having a broken marriage. I know that's a lot of what happens with a lot of broken relationships. I'm the oldest out of 3 children. I've got my sister Joanna and my younger brother Steven, who, if Steven's listened to it, he was a mistake, just saying. And I had a great childhood. We never had a lot financially or anything, but we never wanted for anything. The love in the household was unbelievable. You know, I wouldn't change it for the
So
world.
like a good, solid working class family.
Working class family, absolutely solid.
Yeah.
My dad was a lot older than dads would tend to be my age. There's a bit of an age difference between my mum and my dad. Never bothered us whatsoever. Never bothered them. They were together all my life. And so my dad sadly passed away 4 or 5 years ago now. Which obviously hit us all hard. You know, he wasn't a very well man, but it happened all of a sudden. He went into hospital with something and he deteriorated quite quickly. Again, I don't really remember an awful lot about that, partly because of the trauma that I've suffered.
Yeah.
I would like to remember more. You know, I don't feel like I've ever dealt with it grief-wise, I won't lie. But then again, I didn't really know how to deal with grief. There's no book, there's no switch that you can just switch on. Grief happens to us all in different ways. And I'm saying that now because after taking my own life, obviously, which we'll get to, a lot of things come out of the woodwork, which I don't particularly remember. Like I was going through trauma counselling, through grief counselling. I reached out to someone for personal counselling. Don't remember that. Don't remember any of them conversations. Don't remember who it was with. Don't remember anything. But
And I think people don't realise that, do they, when you experience such trauma, that your memory will go.
my memory,
Yeah. Do you think that's like almost like the body's way of almost coping, or?
absolutely.
I mean, you know, neither of us are scientists. You know, you've got more expertise in suicide and, you know, that side of things than I would have. So, but it's interesting, isn't it? Why?
Yeah, the way I've kind of compartmentalised it, put it in my brain, is like with the trauma. So because I died for 28 minutes, for 21 minutes and 7 minutes, with the 21 minutes, I did a lot of damage to the brain. And the only way I can see it is my brain is basically just cherry picked what it could continue to remember and what it can't. So in a basic formula, I mean, obviously when I come out of intensive care, I didn't know anything like that. I was constantly fighting fear and guilt and everything. But it was a mental health outreach professional that told me about it. Like, your brain's just deleted it. And it's deleted it for a reason. So it's not like I can't recall the memory. It's just not there. Yeah. It's just gone. Now, from that, especially, so say regards my dad passing away, or regards to suicide or anything like that, I understand why the brain has chosen to delete that. You don't need that anymore, Lee. Get rid. I understand that completely. But the other things surrounding that, so my phone number, for example, my date of birth when I first come round, where I lived, things like that, they're memories. My dad passing away. So, for example, when I woke up in intensive care, I couldn't remember my dad passing away. Didn't have a clue. I understand why my brain has gone, that's too much, that, Lee. You can't do with that. You can't do that. But then, what your favourite food is, how to play. I play pool recreationally. How to play pool, who my favourite rugby team is, you know, what my daughter's name was. They're all things that are great memories. So how can your brain do that to you? And that was a constant battle of why are you doing that? Who are you to choose what I can and can't remember? And I don't think you can ever learn to live with that. It just becomes part of you. Yeah. I went to a neurology appointment yesterday, and one of my big things I really like doing, even after 2 years, is I love cooking. I really enjoy cooking for the family. I cannot remember how to cook a Sunday dinner. No idea. So if you put me in the kitchen now to think about it, I have absolutely no idea. I know I could do it because I feel confident I could do it. Like, if you turn around and say, right, you need to do this, and you need to do that, I would do it, I know I would. But to physically think of that, no, it's just not there.
And that's things that lots of people take for granted, don't they?
Every single day. I mean, when I originally woke up, I've had to relearn everything. It's like something off a film. You name it, I've had to relearn. Not just about the memory of why it was there, but how to tell the time, how to read and write, how to walk, the feeling of hunger, going to the toilet, my daughter's name, what I like to eat, what coffee I like to drink, where I lived, everything like that. Everything. There's nothing that I can physically tell you that I could remember from my own memory that I've not had to relearn.
So that's a really good, not good as in how it's affected you. It's, it sounds horrendous, but it's a really good and interesting insight into what happened to you. But what I'd like to do is just rewind a little bit.
Yep.
Because I think when people are thinking, oh my God, I didn't realise that type of thing happened when, there was such trauma that happened to you physiologically and mentally, obviously. But what I'd like to know a little bit more about as well before we lead on to the impact of what's happened. But thank you for that glimpse, by the way. I just want to give it a little bit more structure and kind of come into that a little bit. Because I'm sure people are like, wow, I need to know more. Like, tell me more. So you had a good childhood.
Yes.
Good family, good relationships, good friendships, normal kind of stuff, really.
I wouldn't change it for the world.
Yeah.
Really.
So when did the actual incident happen?
Monday, the 16th of October, 2023.
2023. So 2 years ago.
Just over 2 years now. Yeah.
Just over 2 years ago. So what was your life like at that particular point?
So I was
what were you doing?
I was a single dad. I was a finance manager for a local company in Warrington. I would like to say I was pretty good. I knew what I was doing. I've always been a clever lad, shall we say, especially around about numbers and statistics and things like that. They shout out to me. I enjoy doing it. I'm a really busy guy. Obviously, I'm a single dad. I'm devoted to my daughter, devoted to my family.
And she's 12 now.
She's 12 now, yeah. So she would have been 10 when it happened. 12 going on 28. Yeah, my gosh. She's amazing, but she's my world. I broke up with my daughter's mum a few years ago. It was quite traumatic at the time, but again, me and my daughter have the best relationship I ever had. I've got a really good relationship with her mum as well now, which is absolutely great. Obviously, it's not easy for a lot of people, and it wasn't easy at the time. So I can't really say that I wouldn't say I had a lot of trauma. I did have a lot of trauma, I suppose, but nothing that I would say really contributed to anything else. But before that,
so was that after your dad passed away?
Oh God,
was that before? You're not sure?
No, that was before my dad passed away. See, this is harsh, this, because I have been told this. I think my dad passed away in 2022. Yeah. 20. Oh, that's so bad.
So dates. I mean, I suppose what I'm trying to understand is and for the viewers as well, what was going on in your life? Was there any? Because I think people automatically think there's some kind of trigger, there's some kind of significant incident that led to
hand on heart.
Yeah.
And you may not believe this, I have not got a clue. I've got no history of any trauma. I've got no history of any type of addictions, any debts or anything like that. I physically cannot remember. And if we sit here, we could discuss it, and you go, yeah, maybe that was a contributing factor.
Yeah.
I can't honestly tell you. I have no memory from it. No, nothing. The only memory I have was. Again, I don't even know. It's hard to think. I don't even know if it is an actual memory of waking up in intensive care and my mum walking at me with an SEN bag. I think that was about the third or fourth time that they sort of brought me out of the coma and out of that. I couldn't. And again, like sometimes when you wake up from a dream and you go, did that happen? Did it? I don't know. And you kind of put your own spin on it to make it believable in your own brain. That was what all that was like. I can't honestly tell you what bit was true. There was a few things that happened in intensive care in regards like waking up, going for the walk for the first time with people holding me, eating, going for a wee for the first time, which I couldn't remember how to do, which was, the family laughed about it at the time, but it wasn't nice at the time.
It was a long one.
But no, that was so. Yes, it was. The first one was a really long one after I had that. I can't say that C word. That come out.
Oh,
we can't talk about.
No.
After that got taken out, that was a long one. But it was when. So I was in a ward on my own, and my family were around me. My family never left me on my own. I'm not going to lie, they were unbelievable. And I needed the toilet, and I had like a private room, and the toilet was outside. And I went to the toilet. Didn't know how to use it.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm a joker. I'm a sarcastic person. I always winding my family up and friends. If that was a joke, I would tell you it wasn't.
Did they think it was a? Did they?
They laughed at it at the time. My brother actually helped me go for a wee.
Yeah.
I didn't know, so I walked into the bathroom and there was a toilet. I think a sink, some type of other stuff. I think it was like a walk-in toilet.
So that's like your kind of core memories. You almost do that automatically, don't you?
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do. I didn't know. And my brother eventually come in and helped me. My we all laugh about it now. You know, I think that's how they got through an awful lot, was through laughter.
Humour,
you know, if it was the other way around and it was a brother in that situation, I'd have royally took the Michael out of him as well.
Did your family? Have you reflected on this since? Did your family see that there was anything going on for you?
No.
And again, I don't. You know, the reasons why are just unclear and uncertain. I'm just trying to help our viewers to understand that actually, this can happen to anybody. You know, that's the reason I'm kind of, is that you come from a solid background, you know, with good supportive family and friends, no stresses in your life at the time. You know, your family can't identify anything that was going on at the time.
It come as a complete shock to everybody, you know, and obviously I was in a coma. I was brain dead for quite a while. They all lived through that. And so the grief side of it, and the anger and the fear, that they've lived through all of that more than what I have. Yeah. And there was nothing. Because
that's what people do, don't they? They try to make sense of it.
Yeah,
so I'm sure your mum and your brother.
My mum, my brother and my sister, obviously the three closest. Obviously my dad's passed away. And to be fair to my daughter to some extent, even though she was 10. They've all tried to make sense of this, asking a lot of questions when I was there, like what happened, this, that, you know, they needed to know. They couldn't know. I didn't know, you know, and if I did know, that memory is long gone, you know, and it is genuinely like someone that you wake up from a film and all of a sudden the last 2 years of your life is completely gone. I can't, hand on heart, I cannot tell you where that's gone. I genuinely just believe my brain's just deleted it. You know, you don't need that.
Gone into almost like protection mode.
Yeah, pretty much. But then so obviously I told you I have a lot of problems with my memory. Yeah. It's called hyperoxia amnesia. Funny enough, I had a neurology appointment yesterday, and I've now got not the all clear, but the go ahead to be you know, everything. Yeah. Basically, the damage is done.
Can I ask a bit of a science question then? So have you seen like scans of your brain? I've not seen
scans of my brain.
Have you seen what it looks like or what it did? I suppose it's hard because you won't know what it did look like.
I haven't seen scans.
Is there anything physically that happened to your brain?
But basically dying. It was starved of oxygen for I flatlined for 7 minutes, and then the big one was in resus in Warrington A&E, which was for 21 minutes. And basically, to any of the viewers or yourself, anything after 20 minutes, they tend, you don't come back, basically. And they tend to stop CPR and things. And somehow I did, you know, they got me back going. I don't know how they did it, but they did. And straight rushed into their intensive care, MRIs and stuff. So I've never seen an actual image of my brain in such as where the damage has been done. All I know is I've got all my notes, and in intensive care in Warrington, I don't know if it's what like in other trusts, they do an intensive care diary. So basically every single day, who's done what, who's been to see you, every test you've done and everything like that, when they tried to wake you up, when the kidney dialysis has been switched off. And I have that. I've read that a few times. Yeah. I haven't read it for a long time now, but I know it's there. It's one of them that I've needed it. I know it's there. When I think we were talking off air before about the journey you're on, when I want to reflect on it, I've got it. Yeah. I don't need to at the moment. But I know it's there. And so I know where the damage has been done. And then funny enough, with the hospital appointment they had on Monday, there was a real fear of the damage that you have in your brain can lead to long-term effects such as dementia and things like that, which obviously I was always in the back of my mind is a fear from something that the damages that I've done that could potentially go forward in future. And that's okay. Basically, the damage has been done. The memories, shall we say, has been deleted, and I can live, a normal life, absolutely fine, which is exactly what I'm trying to do. How that's happened, I have no idea. That is a miracle. That from being clinically dead for 21 minutes, and I'm sorry if this is triggering for anyone that's watching this. You don't come back. No, you don't come back. And if you do come back, you've got a really restricted life, wheelchair bound. I was really. I think my left-hand side was paralysed at one point through blood clots and things like that. You'd be in a wheelchair, you'd be under 24/7 care, and
so you're a bit of a medical miracle, really. Then,
I'm not a bit of one. I am.
You are one,
and I'm not saying that because I want a pat on the back, or I want a Blue Peter badge, or I want a high five on the way out of here. Yeah. I don't want to be a medical miracle. I have no idea why I am, but I am.
Yeah. I mean, what's clear for me is that you have quite a deep kind of understanding.
I do now.
And this has been, like you say, a journey for you to kind of process all of this. Do you know, like, so on the actual day that it happened, where were you? Are you okay to talk about the actual?
Fine. I'm absolutely fine. Yeah,
for what you remember anyway.
The trouble is, what I don't remember this.
No,
this is what I've learned.
Told.
Well, the way I've sort of built up a memory of it is through people like my brother who found me, my sister found me, my mum at the hospital. People that we've spoken about this an awful lot. I mean, like I told you, I had a memory span of about 5 minutes, then 15 minutes, then half an hour, then an hour, and so every half an hour I'd had to go over it, and we've been through this a lot. Yeah. So I've made up. I wouldn't say made up. I had made a memory in my brain from other people's memory that I know and trust. Now, again, some of this might not be accurate if they're listening, but this is what it is. So my brother. And I was supposed to go into work, never turned in. My brother and my sister both come from separate locations, both found me. I was at home. I had a really long, I'm a tall guy, and I had a really long sort of free was it three-piece suite? Is that three-piece sofa? Is that what you call them? And I was lay out on there with my dressing gown, with a note. I had a glass table next to me with a note. Me and my daughter have a teddy bear. A little small camel that we got from Lanzarote when she was about 1, and it's called Carl. Most prized possession in the world. This stupid £1 teddy from Lanzarote that you win in a grab machine means the world to me. I had Carl the camel. I had my dad's ashes, I believe. I think, and potentially something else. I'm not 100% sure with that. And my brother, they got through the door, and it was one of them that. So when people leave their keys in the back of the door, I always do it. I've always done it. Do it at home now when I'm with my mum. If I'd have left the key in the door, they wouldn't have been able to get in. And they did. They got in with a spare key. Can't even remember where they got the spare key from, to be honest, but they got in. My brother found me. There was obviously, I don't really want to talk about methodology, but there was something there next to me that obviously was the reason why I passed away. And I think he performed CPR. My sister was on the phone to the ambulance. My brother-in-law, sorry. My sister was on the phone to the ambulance. They got there in a few minutes. Obviously, I'm a big lad. It was difficult for them to get me out. This was approximately 9 o'clock, maybe in the morning, something like that. Then I got taken to Warrington A&E, which from my house was approximately about 15 minute drive, maybe 10 minutes if we were blue lighted. In that time, my mum actually lives around the corner from the hospital. She was waiting for me outside. And then they rushed me in. They rushed me into the resource department in Warrington, which, funny enough, I've actually been there on a visit since. Fantastic organisation. What they do in there is unbelievable. And then that's when I had the really big heart attack, I believe, and flatlined for the 21 minutes. I think I flatlined for 7 minutes in the ambulance. Yeah, sorry. So I died in the ambulance. So I was dead when my brother found me. He brought me back. But I died in the ambulance for 7 minutes.
So was he trying to resuscitate?
Yes, he was. Yeah. He's got absolutely no.
He's got no memory.
No. He's got a lot of memory, but he's got no. What's the word I'm looking for? No history. No experience doing what he did with the CPR. Right, so he just did what he had to do. Yeah. I think he was putting his fingers down my throat or something like that. Flight or flight mode, isn't it? He just did what he did. I mean,
that's really traumatic for them.
Of course it is, yeah. And I mean, and if they weren't, I mean, the thing is, I think me being alive after all this has obviously not taken all this trauma away, but sort of been able to if I had have passed away, I mean, there's a thing that I don't mind saying it. I died by suicide. I took my own life. I did die. Yeah. There is no, all right, they got me back, but for 28 minutes, I was clinically dead, So they found their brother. He was dead. He died in the ambulance on the way there. If I'd have had the really big heart attack that I had in resus and flatlined the way I did there, if I'd have had that in the ambulance, I wouldn't be here because they don't have the equipment to do that. If I'd had it anywhere else apart from in resus, where they got all this equipment, like I think it's called a LoRa machine, I think, or something like that. It's a really big. I've seen the machine; it's fantastic. If anyone wants to fundraise for one of them, by the way, they are lifesavers. If I'd have had that anywhere else, I'd be gone. If my brother had been a couple of minutes later, I'd have been gone. If my sister had turned up before that, I'd have been gone. If the ambulance hadn't turned up, I'd have been gone. I was gone. They just somehow got me back. It's unbelievable. So if all this had happened 30 seconds either way, a couple of minutes either way, I mean, and that's not me blowing smoke up people's backsides or anything like that. It's not, if that would have happened in any other way, shape or form, gone. That's it, gone.
Isn't it like interesting and really, well, unbelievable really, that sequence of events and how any single part of that wasn't
anything
in that sequence,
and
or
this is all
wasn't
documented on medical notes and records. I've had meetings with a GP since then who's got all my notes. He's a local GP, we've known him for years, and I'll talk about that in a minute, but that was a surreal event as well. If anything had happened any other way, if my keys would have been in the back of the door, you know, if I hadn't been laying on my back on the couch, because obviously you're sort of sick in your mouth and stuff, anything, any combination of anything, just ever so slightly out, you won't be sat here with me now. I won't be talking to you. And it's scary to think like that, but it's happened. You know, it's the truth. That's exactly what happened. I mean, I'm probably, because of my memory issues with it, I'm probably just curtain tailing over that an awful lot, a little bit. And if my mum was here, she'd be like, no, this, and, you know, but that is the memory I have in my brain. And that is what I use, as you well know, that I'm using to go forward and to help support people and do everything that I want to do. That in itself is traumatic enough, you know, from what my family went through at that time, from my brother finding me, my sister finding me. My sister has a heart condition. She wasn't very well at the time. She, you know, my brother-in-law, if he hadn't rang the ambulance, if the ambulance hadn't turned up, if the is it called fast response? Fast response in the car. If they hadn't turned up immediately where they was, if they hadn't been able to get me out, because I'm a big lad, to carry me out of the house and on the stretcher, if I hadn't left a little further away from the hospital.
But even things like the car arriving when it did, out the distance you were from the hospital, everything. So many kind of what ifs there, isn't there?
Oh, I think it's more than a what if. I don't think what if does it. It's I use this now as a stop. I mean, like we said, like as a stepping corner, as a positive to help people out and stuff like that. Because I am a miracle. You know, I don't quite think that the word miracle, because that sounds quite spiritual in a way, and it's not. Something happened and someone stopped me from going over.
So the odds were completely against you. Completely. If you look at it like that way, you know. If
you found £1 on the floor and you had 1,000,000 to 1 chance of a horse which could actually win a race, you wouldn't put on it. you'd keep hold of your quid because you were going to lose it. And again, it is like something off a film. I think you'd be sat there in the pictures watching the film, watching the cinema, going, that's not real, is it? That doesn't, that explosion, and you've been shot 1,000,000 times and not one bullet hit him. That doesn't really hit him. Doesn't really happen, does it?
So when you've already touched on when you woke up, and obviously your memory was massively affected. When did you really start to kind of put together and piece together? You know, what were the first stages of that, and what was that like? Obviously were you in hospital for a period of time?
So I was in intensive care, critical care, which is like the step above intensive care. So I was monitored every minute of every day.
So how long was that for? Do you know?
Pass.
I can't tell.
I think I was in hospital from being admitted.
Apologies, I keep asking you for the details.
It's fine. So I think
some things will.
So I was taken into hospital on the 16th of November. 16th of October, sorry. And I think I come out on the 1st of November or the 2nd of November, which is, in a space, is 2 weeks. It's not a long time. But a lot happened in that time. So obviously resus, when I first went in there, which is the majors and stuff like that. All my family were there. The staff at Warrington Hospital were absolutely fantastic. They were brilliant with my family. Obviously, I've met them since then, and because you have like an intensive care support group, which they do. So basically, when you come out of intensive care, not a lot of people remember it. Touch wood, not a lot of people come out of there as well, especially in critical care. And I've been back in there 2 or 3 times now, maybe I think twice, to speak to them, meet the nurses, meet the people. They remember me, they remember the family because we was all there. I don't obviously remember them, but it's great to put cool. Like we're sat here talking about, like my family have been talking about when you was in resus, when this was on you, when this machine was on you, when you broke your ribs when you were doing this. I don't remember any of this. So when we're sat there talking about it, to help in your process, to remember that, I mean, sometimes it could be quite triggering, But I needed to know.
Yeah.
I needed to know. So that's what that was like for you then. And so I'd been through that. I mean, I actually walked past the room where I've been in the doorway of the room in the critical care department of where I was. And you have all the machinery. It's like something out of NASA. You know, the equipment they've got there is unbelievable. Absolutely amazing. And you watch it in like 24 hours in A&E and stuff like that. So I've kind of put a picture in my head of that's what that was like. But I had a lot more than that, apparently. It was like something, it was genuinely like putting a rocket, like a rocket on the moon. It was just unbelievable. But so again, a lot of my memories have come from other people's interpretations or people telling me, especially my mum. My mum's a massive one.
Do you know what's difficult as well, I suppose, for you is that you went back to where that trauma took place, you know, the hospital and kind of what happened, and you will have, and it must be difficult because you don't really have the memory of it. You will have that connection to those people.
Oh yeah.
Did you when you went and saw them again? Did you feel something?
I did. I mean,
do you understand what I'm trying to say?
No, absolutely.
But it's hard because you can't put the memory to it.
I went, the first time I went with my brother because I wasn't allowed on my own. My brother went everywhere with me anyway, and the connection that he had with them, because he didn't leave my side at the time. He was there every minute, every day. Sometimes getting in trouble for being there when he wasn't allowed, but he good luck trying to get rid of him. He was no way he was moving. And I felt the connection. I'm an empath I am very empathetic anyway. Yeah. I felt the connection through them more, and they felt the connection for me because they recognised me, obviously. I suppose I was a bit of I won't say a bit of a celebrity, that'd be the wrong word, but because of what I've been through, I was a success for them. They've got that guy back. Yeah. He died him. He was a goner, and to see him walking in the room now, unaided, with his brother, not in a wheelchair, not slurring his words, being able to communicate openly, would have been a high five moment for them because they don't get that all the time. Yeah. That is an awful...
And obviously a situation, a scenario that stands out, that stands above quite a lot of...
The only thing... I mean, I'll say this in a bit as well. The hard time for me with regards to that is when I first started to go to a men's peer-to-peer support group, which is Andy's Man Club in Warrington. It was my best friend that took me. I'd never heard of it before. And he took me the first night, and I seen a sign that says 1 man every 2 hours takes on life. I mean, with statistics now, it's actually 1 man every 90 minutes, but that really hit home. And when I was in critical care with my brother, there was a couple of men in there, and I'm looking at them thinking, I don't know why they were in there, but they were in a bad way.